This is the thing that always surprised me about you, Bob, because you are just such a nice guy. You're a class act, yet somehow there's still dickheads out there that want to talk.
Yeah.
This guy's strong. Let's have a look. Come on, take me down, Bob. Let's go.
Honestly, kind of cool that a guy that was a former champion's even like talking about me, but whatever.
Did you hear what happened?
Yeah.
No.
Dan was gonna full scrap at Real American Freestyle Wrestling.
Really?
All right, so this is what happened. So
Hold on. This doesn't sound like Luke at all.
Yes.
Come on.
I'm watching him step, and his back. He takes one of his feet and he puts it off the scale. He's trying to like stand off, 1 foot on, 1 foot off.
The diving board trick. Big fight coming up.
Yeah.
What do you think happens in that fight, Bisping?
Take it to him. Swing. Connect with him. Let him know. Hey, you've stepped up a level. Now you're in with the big boys. And hey, you feel that power?
Bisping with 2 eyes at 185 versus Bo Nickal. Who wins?
2 eyes?
2 eyes.
Bro, come on.
Okay, what's going on, guys? I'm Bear Gidio, and we are back with another episode of the Jaxxon Podcast. I have the one and only, the legendary man himself who took down Luke Rockhold in 2016 and won the belt, Michael Bisping!
Come on, let's go! Fuck yeah!
Hey, don't let Luke in here. Tell him to wait outside. And then we got the one and only, one of the greatest American wrestlers, 3-time NCAA champion, going on a complete tear in the UFC. Ladies and gentlemen, Bo Nickal!
Let's go, Bo!
Bo knows! All hell Bo! All hell Bo! We had dinner last night at Nobu, and I was just sitting there talking to Bo, and I'm thinking to myself, because you're like a very
Hold on.
Yeah,
Were you having a conversation with Bo, or with a bear, or was he talking at you a million miles an hour for about 3 hours?
From Sydney to Liverpool.
Holy shit, it's been a trip, man. I have been all over the world.
Bro, we haven't seen you in a year.
I know, I apologize, but I'm back. I'm back, guys, and I'm staying.
Poor Bo. We've been trying to get this podcast locked in for months.
I know.
Bo's like, I want to do it with Bisping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, I'm in, but Bisping's gone.
I went to England for Christmas, from there to Georgia to do a filming project, came back for UFC 324, home a day, UFC 325 in Sydney, got back on Wednesday. I am destroyed, but you got the coffee? We're good to go, man. We're good.
Hey, cheers, Bo. Thank you for coming,
Yeah,
brother.
good to
Thank
see
for
you,
coming.
Bo.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
No, we were all talking. I was with Jansen, the IBJJF 2-time black belt world champion, Leo Vieira, Bernardo. We had, yourself. And everybody was sitting there. We had one of the guys from Tom Brown, Sam Lobin, and we know Santos Studios in Nordstrom, so that guy helped us. He was very instrumental in that. And Jackson's been doing really good with everything we're dropping. So I said, Bo, come to dinner with us, and then today we're going to do the pod. And I'm listening to him talking. I'm just like, dude, you're like America's sweetheart. Like, your division, this guy used to have to go through like 15-minute wars,
right.
And you just walk in there and just get to submit people, take them down. Like, it's like just another day in the job.
I think the UFC was tougher back then.
I mean, I'll say so. I'll take it. But this is the thing that always surprised me about you, Bob, because you are just such a nice guy. You're a class act. You represent yourself, your sport of wrestling, your country, the UFC at the highest level. Yet somehow there's still dickheads out there that want to talk shit.
Yeah.
What's all that about?
I don't know. It's a good question. I feel like most of the people, I think I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like they're bored. Maybe, they don't have enough going on in their life to get excited about, and they want to, speak negatively about other people. For me, I don't really relate to that because everybody that I'm around and, even people that I don't know, like I want everybody to be successful and happy. So I don't really relate to that. But I think that in the world today, negativity, I guess
it sells.
It sells more. It's more exciting in the short term and stuff. But it's been an interesting journey to figure out how to deal with that. In wrestling, you get a little bit of it, but everybody's respectful. Like at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I want my team to win, you want your team to win, but we can shake hands and be respectful. MMA is not like that. So it's been interesting to kind of learn that part of the game. And I think also not, get frustrated with it or feel like, buy into it too much, because I know what I'm trying to do every day. I know the work that I put in, and really at the end of the day, that's what's important to me. It's not what some random dude in his mom's basement thinks. Everybody knows this, but yeah, it's been interesting because I find myself once in a while getting pissed and being like, "Yo, dude, you like I know if we were in person right now, you'd be asking me for a picture and autograph, like, but you're on social, so you're talking crazy.
Yeah, so they're talking shit, especially on Twitter.
Yeah, especially,
Especially Luke Rockhold.
Like, I know Luke, he would come up, we would grab a picture together, it'd be all good, but like.
Are you and Luke good?
Did you hear what happened?
No.
They almost got on full scrap at Real American Freestyle Wrestling.
Really?
All right, so this is what happened. So.
Hold on, this doesn't sound like Luke at all.
Yeah, so before I ever even signed with the UFC, this was like, I don't even know if I maybe had one pro MMA fight. Luke did an interview and they asked Luke about me and he was like, yeah, this dude's gonna find out, blah, 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 this, that. And I was like, yo, that's crazy, bro. Like, I'm not even in the UFC. Like, it's honestly kind of cool that a guy that was a former champion's even like talking about me, but whatever. So I never forgot that. So then Luke signs to do the match with Colby, RAF. And so they post the announcement and I'm like, wow, what an amazing main event. I hope I'm as good as these guys one day. Like, they're, it's great. Just, troll him a little bit. He was fired up about it. He was pissed. He got very offended that I implied that I'm a better wrestler than, him and Colby. So, which I didn't think it was a crazy take. I didn't think it was a crazy take.
No, it's not a crazy take.
I thought it was, we're trolling, keep it lighthearted. He was really mad about it. And then, so then the presser comes and him and Colby they tried to, come at me and whatever. I think right after that they were making out and stuff, which was cool. You guys do your thing. It's not my style, but oh well. And so they teamed up on me and all good. And then they wrestled.
Listen,
and
no such thing as bad press. But just going back to people talking shit. I mean, you're a wrestler, right? But it's not like you're coming in and wrestling people and holding them down.
Right.
Only one fight in the UFC so far has gone to a decision. Other than that, choked everyone out, knocked them out. Last time out, stunning head kick, knocked out RoboCop, who is not an easy guy to beat. So it's not like you're coming out there holding them down for 24 minutes, like someone.
I'm not even gonna
Shots fired. Shots fired.
It's a joke.
I'm not even going to get into that one. I do think, though, like a lot of people have a little brief history and a little brief understanding of like your NCAA journey. And I want to spend more time talking about MMA, but you do have an incredible NCAA history. I mean, 3-time champion. To do that in wrestling, everybody knows how hard wrestling is. And then the names and the history, Aaron Pico coming out of high school. And then, David Taylor, who's now the coach at OSU, who was at Penn State, which kind of confuses me a little bit, but I love David Taylor. And there's a lot of like, controversy surrounding the fact that David Taylor was at Penn State, that he was competing against someone who went to, I think, ASU or Arizona State. Oh, and something happened there.
Bubba Jenkins. There's a lot of drama.
So just quickly run me through how you got to Penn State and then won these titles, and how do you know Aaron Pico?
Yeah, so, growing up, my granddad wrestled in college. My dad was a wrestler his whole life, a wrestling coach. So they were, my coaches and everything from basically when I was in diapers. So I was always interested in wrestling and started off my first time ever competing. I was 5 years old, but I don't even know. Wrestled thousands and thousands of matches from 5 to 18. Got to meet a lot of awesome people. Aaron was a guy that I'd trained with a bunch as a kid, and we'd been on some U.S. national teams together and stuff. But coming out of high school, really, there was a couple schools that were pretty good that were on my radar, but Penn State was like far and above the rest of them as far as like the coaching staff, the skill level, the training, the guys that were there. And I was like, man, if I want to be the best and if I really like want to dedicate myself to this, I got to put myself around the best people. So, decided to go to Penn State, and it was one of the best decisions I made. I've, a lot of great relationships there as well. I still train with the team 3-4 days a week. The coaches who, coached me in wrestling, I still get to work with them a bunch. They're all mentors for me. And
I've seen videos of you going back to Penn State.
Yeah. So I still live in State College. I live 15 minutes from campus, and I go train, like I said, 3-4 days a week. And now it's a little bit of a different role, right? Like I'm not trying to be a world champion in wrestling. I'm trying to be a world champion in MMA. And so
but you're trying to stay sharp.
I'm trying to stay sharp, but it's also I get to give back and help these young guys who are, freshmen, sophomores, juniors in college who have big goals in wrestling. I get to kind of help them, with their games a little bit. And it's amazing to me, in a few years, just how good guys are getting at wrestling even still. Like I look at where I was at in high school and early college, and these guys are light years ahead, which is exciting for the sport. And it's a sport it's always going to be like in my heart, near and dear to me, and I'll be involved with it forever.
And how did you run into Aaron Pico as a kid?
Just being in the same circuits, the same tournaments. Like my dad, he was a little crazy, right? Like we would go, drive 12 hours to this tournament in Iowa and then drive 16 hours to this tournament in California, then go to Ohio, then go to, you know, wherever. Like we
But
were
if you
all
did it
over.
before, was he on your case?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
No,
definitely.
my dad.
Yeah, he was on me.
He'd take me to a tournament. If I didn't win, he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He's like,
my
I drove
dad-
you all that way and
Yeah.
you can't even win.
Yeah.
That's why you turned into a world champion.
Exactly.
They give you some
Exactly.
edge.
You know?
Yeah, he was hard on me, I would say, but the thing that I always noticed about my dad was he would be more hard on me if I didn't perform my best.
Yeah.
But if I, let's say, made a finals of a national tournament and it was like a really close match and I lost to a kid and I was like devastated, he would always like pick me up and say, hey, I'm proud of you, buddy. Like, I know you gave it your all there. But then like if I was a little asshole or something, yell at the refs or whatever,
Yeah, sure, of
he would
course.
rip me.
Yeah.
So it was a balance,
so.
right? Yeah. And I would say it was probably, you know, 75% of like being on me and maybe like 25% of like, hey, you know, you did a good
Yeah,
job,
no.
or maybe 90-10, something like that.
You know,
But,
I used to hate wrestlers and I used to hate wrestling. Obviously, coming from the UK, we
Yeah,
don't have
yeah.
wrestling.
No wrestling,
And it's
yeah.
just like the antidote to, or like kind of boxing, kickboxing, Thai boxing style. Until I moved to America. And then my son started wrestling. And then I see them in the room and I see the dedication and how tough it is and how hard these guys work. It's so good. And I'm such a massive fan of the whole wrestling institution in America. It's phenomenal. We need it in the UK.
Do you think that wrestling is the most important base of MMA?
Probably. You know, I mean, I think it certainly is the toughest element of it all, you know, because, like, for example, what was that fight recently? Oh, Paddy and Justin.
Right.
Paddy and Justin. I said that was kind of like wrestling versus jiu-jitsu. Because, you know, on the feet, Paddy was being wild and Justin was picking him apart and he dropped him and all the rest of it. But when they clinched up against the fence, that's where Paddy would take some time off because
Right.
jiu-jitsu is the gentle art. You use their energy against them, you know, and wait for them to do something, then you'll counter or whatever. Whereas Justin was just 100 miles an hour,
Right.
ragdolling him
Yeah.
around, snapping him down, whereas Paddy was just taking it easy. And that was the big difference, in my opinion, there.
For sure. Yeah, I loved how he was able to like control that front headlock position because you don't see it a lot in MMA used that way. You see guys, you know, looking for like a submission, or you see guys just let go of the front headlock. But he could tell he had a good game plan and he used his wrestling to his advantage, where anytime they would clinch, he'd pull him to the front headlock, bring him down, and then he's just punching him, just controlling that position and not giving Paddy like an inch, right?
Yeah,
like you let the guy pull guard, get into a leg entanglement, something, who knows what could happen. He ends up sweeping you, but he just stayed right there, used that wrestling. And I really like to see that out of a guy like Gaethje, who very good wrestler, but doesn't really show it too often. So.
And certainly now in modern MMA, like
Right.
in 2026,
Yeah.
if you can't wrestle at the highest level or at least stop it or be proficient, you're done. That's
Yeah.
it. Forget about
You
it.
have to, yeah, for sure.
Tell me about the encounter, like the time you had with Aaron. Apparently there's a story, like his first fight ever you were at, his first MMA fight, because he went to Olympic trials, right? And you went to college.
Yeah, so Aaron was a phenom. Like we were in high school in the same year. We're both graduating class 2014, and like I was good. Aaron was like
The
man. Like Aaron was beating guys at a senior level as a teenager, like which that, you know, basically never happened. So in 2016, he made the Olympic trial finals as a high schooler. I think he was maybe only like the amount of people that have even qualified to the Olympic trials as high schoolers is like you could count on one hand. And so he makes the finals. He ends up not making the team, loses in 3 close matches to a really tough guy. And then from there, before this, I was like, dude, Aaron, come to Penn State, wrestle with me in college. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm fighting. And I was like, you're insane.
At like 18.
Yeah, we were young. And I was like, that's crazy, but do your thing, bro. And so he ends up transitioning over to MMA. And I think that, you know, his first pro fight was in Madison Square Garden in Bellator.
I was going to say Bellator,
Yeah, it was
right? Because I
Bellator.
remember at the time he was coming
Yeah.
down to train with Perillo.
Yeah.
And all the hype around him was like, this guy. And I don't follow wrestling.
Right.
I'm like, all right, sure, I'm sure he's good. And then it didn't really go
So
plan.
Yeah, so I mean, the thing
happened
that
with
was
the glove
the
thing?
thing that was so tough with Aaron, from what I heard, he was knocking everybody out in sparring in 16-ounce big gloves. Like he had never sparred in small MMA gloves, like leading up to that, his first pro fight.
Yeah.
He didn't have amateur fights because the dude was a world champion wrestler and a Golden Gloves boxer,
knocking everyone out,
knocking everybody out,
crazy.
like just like some of the craziest stories I've heard. And ends up, first fight doesn't go his way. I think that being thrust in that situation as 18, 19-year-old kid fighting professional, Madison Square Garden, like I look at my career and there's some similarities I could draw where like I'm a couple fights in fighting in the UFC all of a sudden, like I could, if I was a teenager doing that, I'm like, bro, forget about it, right? Like I can't imagine like the feelings and the pressure that he went through. And now obviously has had a lot of wins, a lot of crazy fights, crazy knockouts. I think I look at Aaron skill for skill, like skill wise and ability as one of the best guys in the world, like pound for pound. Like the dude can hit so hard, unbelievable, crisp striking, amazing wrestling. Like definitely right now he's signed the UFC. I would say.
Who did he just fight? Lerone Murphy?
He fought Lerone Murphy. He was
winning.
destroying Lerone Murphy for 4 minutes.
Until he got knocked out.
Until he got knocked out, that's the game. That's MMA.
Sadly, it is.
The way that it works. And I don't know what Aaron's plan is. I would love to see him maybe do some real American freestyle events and
is he not with the UFC anymore?
No, he still is, I think that, get healthy and maybe get back in there.
Right?
But
after a knockout like that?
Yeah, 100%.
How much time do you think?
I mean, look at Volkanovski. He got knocked out by Islam. Then he rushed back against Topuria, got knocked out cold again.
Yeah.
If you rush back to, everyone's different, but don't rush it. Yeah. Especially when you're a young guy like that.
Right.
Take the time. Let the brain rest. Take some time away. He doesn't need it. He's got lots of other things going on. Just forget about getting punched in the face for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I also just think that you do still have, he's so young, you do still have a bigger career. It's probably better to get the proper rehab, recovery, and then go back into
recover and get back into it.
Before we jump into MMA, one last thing about your NCAA career. You wrestled and trained with David Taylor after he was out of college, correct?
Yeah, so David graduated in 2014 from college. I got to Penn State a year after that. And he was one of my main training partners for my entire college career. And, I was his training partner for the World Championships in 2018. So he brought me out to Budapest to train with him and stuff like that. And, we worked together a ton. And then, we actually wrestled each other in the Olympic trials finals in 2021. So he ended up beating me in 2 matches and then won the gold medal that year. And then a few years after that, now transitioned to the head coach of Oklahoma State. So
did that hurt you?
I wouldn't say no. It didn't really hurt me. To be honest, like the way that everything went with us wrestling and then, him kind of transitioning out, I felt like it was time. Like he was at the end of his career, ready to move on. Oklahoma State is a great position. So, to be able to come as, one of the most decorated wrestlers, a Penn State guy, and be able to transition over to OSU, which is the most decorated collegiate program historically, I think it's a great opportunity. And it's great for the sport because Penn State has been so dominant the last 15 years, right? Like I think we're back-to-back. We've gone back-to-back years of breaking the NCAA scoring record. We've had, I think, 6 guys ranked number 1 in the country this year out of 10, which is unprecedented. And I want these teams to like get better as a fan of the sport.
So it's too easy for you guys right now.
It's too easy. It's too easy for Penn State. Wow. It's like, we're blowing out like top 5 teams in the country. Like it's not even, they can barely win, a match or two against
Would you call that the Bo Nickal effect?
It's the Chael Sanderson effect, really.
He's still coaching.
He's still coaching. Yeah, he's still the head coach. So I think, he's been there 17 years now and won, 14 national titles, something like that.
You never went to the Olympics though, right?
No. So in wrestling, 6 weight classes in the Olympics, 1 guy per country. So I took second to David, even though he was the gold medal winner.
David Taylor.
So like,
to David.
Yeah,
David Taylor. Sorry, forgive me.
No, it's okay.
Biggest.
Yeah. So you only get one guy per country. Like,
of course, a lot of people were confused.
Legitimately, I think that in
so
that
if it
year,
weren't for David Taylor, you would have been an Olympic champion.
Maybe.
Instead, you're taking abuse on Twitter.
Yeah, right.
Whilst fighting in the UFC. Fuck David Taylor.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
We want to see you wrestle Yoel Romero, dude.
I know, right?
Damn it, man.
I know, right? Yeah.
What happened with that?
It was crazy, So the weight class 205, I'm coming up 20 pounds from my weight that I fight at. I'm basically wrestling at what I weigh. And I roll up and I'm like, all right, we're all good. Gonna wrestle Yoel, no worries, have fun. Weigh-ins, I make the weight. It's 9 to 10 a.m. It's like 9:45. No Yoel. 9:50. I'm like, what the heck? Finally shows up. He's like in sweats, but I could tell he's surprised to see me. Like he's not. He's like,
Yoel?
Yeah, like surprised that I'm still there at the weigh-in. Because I was like, I'm watching this guy weigh in. Like I'm not gonna just leave. And so then he goes to like, he's like waiting me out, like trying to like get me to leave. And I'm like, I'm not leaving, bro. I'm right here. And so then they're finally like, Yoel, like you have to step on the scale. He goes.
He didn't try and do the towel thing.
Yo, this is what he does. He goes.
Oh no!
He goes.
He did?
No. It's almost worse. He goes to step on the scale. I'm watching him step, and his back. He takes one of his feet and he puts it off the scale. He's trying to like stand off, 1 foot on, 1 foot off.
The diving board trick.
It's like when you put the when you're checking in for a long
DC.
flight and you put your bag on.
Yeah, you're holding
I
it.
take a foot and I'm like lifting it off the scale.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, dude, come on, bro. Like, don't be doing that. And then they're like,
Bo knows, dude.
They're like, yo, you have to step on the scale. So he steps on. He's 212. He's 7 pounds over. And now I'm like, all right, this is the worst position ever because I could take the match and compete against a guy who's 7 pounds over, who's obviously 15 or whatever years older than me. Like, you know, so I can do that, or I can not take the match. Everybody's gonna say, oh, you're a puss, whatever. You don't want to wrestle, all this or that. I talked to my coaches. I looked at it like one of the things in wrestling that is basically like, I would consider it sacred is making weight. Like in MMA, you miss weight by a few pounds.
Yeah.
Oh, no worries. On to the next. That's not how it works in wrestling.
It's not how it works
No,
in fighting either.
It shouldn't be.
No, you're right.
But now we see,
It shouldn't be.
if you look at the stats, the guy who misses weight in a fight wins the vast majority of the time, probably 75, 80% of the time.
Statistical Bo.
Statistically, yeah. So if you look at guys that miss weight, it is a big advantage, right? And he missed by 7. It wasn't like he missed by 1, 2, 3. Like that's a crazy amount.
So you know he's going to rehydrate crazy.
All the way, all the way up.
15, 20 pounds heavier.
So I looked at it more like, all right, in wrestling, we make weight. That's just part of it. If it doesn't matter if you're in the Olympics and you miss weight, you're not competing. It doesn't matter. You could be at the biggest tournament in the world. It's cut and dry. And so, I felt like one, out of respect to the sport a little bit, like this is, wrong. We shouldn't set this precedent of like, okay, real American freestyle. This is a real professional league, with wrestling at the center where like this is the importance of the culture and the environment of the sport is something that we hold very near and dear to us. So, I felt like factoring all those things in, like it didn't make sense to do the match. And it was a bummer because I would have loved to compete against him as a guy that I honestly like look up to and watch a lot. Like as far as wrestling and fighting, Yoel is a guy that I would say I watch probably the most out of anybody. Like I love.
No way.
Was that inspiration for you as a former wrestler going to the UFC? You're like, okay,
for sure. And I love his style.
This guy and how he does it.
Yeah, I love his style. I love the way he fights. Like he doesn't even have to do anything, and he's in control of the fight. Like he'll drop down, hit a knee, and like the guy's like, oh shit. And it's like, yo, like the fact that he just dropped, hit a knee, and like made this guy react like that is insane. The way his disposition is, his demeanor, his feints, the way he sets up his strikes, the way he sets it's just like, to me, like super high level. And I mean, he didn't wrestle a ton in his fights, but he used his wrestling in a really like effective way, which, I love watching.
He's so
him.
explosive, everyone.
Unbelievable,
The man's a freak.
Yeah,
freak
100%.
athlete.
I think he has a titanium neck. Like his I've seen on this clip from Joe Rogan, like his neck and his head doesn't move when he runs. Like it's like
he's got like a metal rod like through his spine.
He's a freak of nature, and the way he just lifts people up and slams them, I'm just like, that's not even wrestling. That's just like human strength.
Yeah,
Like,
he's doing like a power clean with a full grown man.
I want to bring up your Dana White Contender Series fight against Donovan Beard.
Okay.
A lot of people think, what being a wrestler, and Bisping, I want to kind of get your opinion on this, that you would have more of like a ground and pound style, but you came out with that crazy overhand to a single leg and then just submitted this dude, like a wrestler having submission at that level. Was that the game plan going into this?
No. So I have a funny story about this fight. So 10 days before this fight, so this is my second Contender Series fight. It was the last week of Contender Series. So this was.
Did I call this one? I think I might have.
You might have, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I called one of them.
Yeah, definitely. So the 10 days before this fight, I live maybe, a couple hundred yards from the gym I train at. So I don't know why, but I got a one wheel. Like the one wheel company, you've seen these, the skateboards with the wheel?
Yeah.
They sent me one. So I would
go fast.
Yes. So I was riding it. I ride it to practice. I ride it back. On my way back from practice, I'm barefoot. I got my big gallon Yeti jug, my slides, all my gear in my hands, and I'm riding it back, right? And a car pulls up behind me. And I'm like, oh shit, I better hustle up. I don't want to and it's like a major road, like a 40 mile an hour speed limit road. and I got like 100 yards before I can turn in to get to my house. And so I'm like, I got to speed up. And I kind of look back, catch the nose of my one wheel, straight into the ground, shoulder, boom. I roll 3 times. I road rash all over my back. And I'm like, I pop up and I'm like, oh shit. I grab all my stuff off the street, get off the road. And I'm
how
like,
long is this before the fight?
10 days.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, I'm effed. I go to the doctor. I cracked my collarbone and I have a completely separated AC joint in my shoulder. I can barely lift my arm up. And I'm like, yo, what do I do? This is the last week. I have to get. I have to win this fight to get my UFC contract. And I literally thought about it up until like probably 3 days before the fight about like not fighting. And I was like, I just got to do it. I got to fight.
No way.
And so I go into this fight and I'm just like, I got to finish this guy. Like I got to mess this dude up. So, you know.
What is that, Bisping?
Off the bat, overhand.
No one's
right?
healthy in fights. I mean, that's the prime example. And then all these people come out afterwards when they lose and go, oh, well, you know. It's like, no one is. No one is. But that's a little bit crazy.
It was crazy. So in my mind, I was like, I got to do this fight. Like and obviously right here, I got the adrenaline going. So I'm pumped. But, you know, I was just looking for the finish. And I felt like it was, you know, there. I always, for whatever reason, the mounted triangle kind of came naturally to me when I first started training jiu-jitsu. I'd get to mount as a wrestler, and for some reason I would fall into this position a lot. So it was just kind of a reaction. Try to land a couple punches, and then I looked to go mounted guillotine here real quick, but I felt like watch his right arm slides under my leg.
I mean, you got to step over there.
Step over. Now it's just like easy there. So he just kind of started rolling up, and I just went with it and just felt it. And that's
high level stuff as well.
Submission was so clean.
Yeah,
with a receipt.
Thank you.
It was nice.
It was fun. I think that for me, when I go into a fight, if I just like wrestle a dude and like do just wrestling and stuff, it's like it's not that fun or exciting for me personally because I know I can do that.
Yeah.
But when I can do something like a triangle or like knock somebody out, it's like. From my own mind, I'm like, that's sick. Like,
but with your wrestling though, does that give you the room to try that stuff? Because if it ever starts going wrong and the guy clips you, you know you can just shoot him and take him down. And like, just laying guard a minute and go, oh shit, hold on, recover.
100%. Yeah, that's definitely for me like a safety blanket. Yeah, it's a safety blanket for sure to be able to know like, oh, you know, I'm going to be able to take this guy down, put him on the ground. Like I do get a lot of confidence from that for sure. Of course.
What about your UFC debut fighting against Jamie? I mean, did you feel like you had to make a lot of changes going into this? Because I mean, you cleaned him with a Darce again, 67 seconds. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty insane. That your submission skills are clean, dude.
I just look at
this.
They really
are.
Yeah.
I look at this and I'm just like, I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I still kind of don't, to be honest. Like, I've only been fighting for...
He's like stuck down there, like he owes you money or something. I mean, he's not moving.
I felt like, honestly, this fight I was very nervous because Jamie Pickett, he's, you know...
Experienced guy.
He's got 20 fights. He's, you know, southpaw. He's 6'2", athletic, like hits hard. He's had knockouts and finishes and stuff. And so I was pretty nervous going into this fight, my first fight in the UFC. And... yeah, in my mind, I was like,
he stopped your takedown for like a minute or two, like the first couple of the first, like, if I remember correctly,
so
it's been 30,
40 seconds. Yeah, he kind of went up again. Well, I went to throw a head kick, fell on my butt. And then...
oh, that's right, you did,
slipped.
We've all been there.
Then I got him on the cage, put him down, and, you know, I look at this and I'm like, I didn't know what I was doing, you know, just trying to figure it out. But
well, that's bullshit because you do know exactly what you're doing and you're doing it cleanly and nicely.
Thank you.
When did you start jiu-jitsu?
The first time I ever did jiu-jitsu was in between it had to have been like 20, maybe 17 or 18.
Okay.
I was doing a wrestling camp and this guy was like, hey, do you want to do a jiu-jitsu practice? And I was like, yeah, sure. I'll try it out.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Right away, I was like, this is awesome. So much fun. We did like an open mat, rolled with a bunch of guys. Again, I'd never done anything other than wrestle before. I'd watched UFC, so I knew like, oh, this is a rear naked choke. This is a guillotine. And I'm like trying to mess around and figure stuff out. And then that was when I realized, oh, I have to fight. Like I have to do MMA. And so I didn't really do any other training. That was just that one class up until 2021, end of 2021 when I started
but your MMA brain's already formatted for grappling at such a high level.
Yeah.
It comes really quick, I'm sure.
Yeah, and my style for wrestling, one thing that I was really big on was always like going for a pin. So I wasn't like I'm going to take you down 8 times, let you up type of guy. I was like, I'm going to take you down and I'm going to put you on your back and pin
Make
you.
it count.
Always. Like, that's how I always wrestled. I always would go for big moves and then I would do stuff like, a lot of like interesting defensive stuff, front headlock stuff and just stuff that lended itself well to jiu-jitsu. So I think that my style in wrestling, it fit really well for BJJ because like I remember being, in high school and like I'll catch somebody in a cow catcher and like I would put them out cold. Like they would fight to stay off their back and I choke many guys out cold in wrestling, like without, knowing any jiu-jitsu. So my style kind of always lended itself to it. And it's really fun for me. I wish I would have done it as a kid. Like if I could go back, I would have probably done, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, maybe like hit pads and stuff like that.
I want to ask you about wrestling up against the fence.
Yeah,
because
it's different.
It's so different because I'm not a good wrestler, and I can't wrestle too well, but I can stop takedowns. And we used to bring in some really good high-level wrestlers. You'll know the names, but I'm not going to say it on here. And against the fence, they couldn't do shit. If you know what to do, you know how to use the wizard and the underhook game and all the rest of it. I can defend those positions all day long. And we've seen Yoel Romero struggle in those positions all day long. Is that something that you found frustration with?
So first off, some guys are, really good on the fence, make it so much tougher to score on them, to get them on the ground. And then when they do get on the ground, they pop right back up. So very much, a tough position. One thing that helped me that is interesting that I think we do at Penn State that nobody else probably does is we would wrestle on the wall a lot.
Right, okay.
Because
that's good.
Guys get competitive, like I'm not letting you up.
Yeah.
And it's like we're in practice, we're training, but
and
like
if you hit the wall, your coach is just
we don't stop.
Let it play out.
We keep it going. And like that wouldn't be an every time thing, but it was like, let's say you and a guy were going like, all right, we're just gonna go flow, play wrestle, and then like you gotta start getting a little more intense. You get to that, and then like all of a sudden somebody hits the wall, like I'm not stopping. Like so you learn, all right, I'm gonna put you on the wall, I'm gonna drop down, lock double leg, pick you up, walk you back to the center, take you down. Or oh, you're on the wall here, now I'm gonna lock side headlock, throw a leg in, pull you back down. Like so we were doing that stuff intuitively, and then it worked in MMA where I had to learn all the nuances, and there's a whole game that I didn't understand. But I did have like some experience doing that, or get you on the wall. You're sitting on your butt. Okay, I'm gonna gather both feet. I'm gonna figure 4 lock and have your feet here now and hold you down here for a while. So like that type of stuff we were doing just unintentionally.
Sure. So you got experience. No, I started smiling there because when I used to go and pick up Callum from wrestling practice, I'd watch for the last 10, 15 minutes. And one time they're like, come on, Bisping, come on, come and wrestle. So I said, come on, Callum, me and you.
Yeah.
And the whole team's watching. So, and I push him right into the wall. Yeah. And in his mind, like, we'd stopped. Nope. So I drop down, I pick him up, and get him on the shoulder. I walk him into the middle of the mat. I slam him down.
Yeah, that's right.
The whole gym. Yeah. And I go, right, I'll be in the car.
Yeah.
and to this day, he's like, Dad, when you hit the wall, we stop.
Like, I'm like,
no, we don't, buddy.
Is your son fighting?
He had an amateur fight, and he's probably going to have a few more. But there is a story attached to that, So he had a fight recently. He's been training for years. He's done.
How old is he?
He's 24, doing his master's degree in business. Super smart kid, wrestled in college on a scholarship. Oh, I'm out of breath. So he's done martial arts his whole life. Yeah. And he's a good wrestler. He's in college. And I said, right, well, while you're in college, you're getting your master's degree, you're training every day because you're not sitting around on your ass. Right. So he goes to a really good MMA school and he wanted to take a fight. So he wanted to take a fight in August and we went for a run. And I said, dude, you're out of shape. You're not ready yet. So I didn't let him take the fight, and he didn't like that. Anyway, turns out just recently he had a fight, and I was there, but I didn't know about it until the day before. We were going out for breakfast, my wife and I. We sit down in the restaurant, and across the restaurant there he is with his girlfriend and his girlfriend's mom. I'm like, oh, hey, come and join us. So they come and sit down, and his girlfriend's mom is like, oh, how do you feel about the fight? I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, what fight? You know what I'm saying? But I'm playing along because I don't want to make a dick out of myself. And she's asking about, asking Callum about his walkout music and this and that. And my blood is just boiling inside. I go, right, we got to go, guys. So I text him. I said, we need to talk. Anyway, we get on the phone. He explains he wanted to do his own thing. He didn't want to be in my shadow. He didn't want it all about being my son. And it went on and on and on. Anyway, I said, right, okay. I guess you're fighting. So we went and watched. He kicked the guy's ass. He used his wrestling. He took him down. He should have finished him, but he dominated the fight from start to finish. But I'm like, dude, if you ever fight again, if you ever do this again and you don't tell me, one, you're out the house. Secondly, I'll whoop your ass. And I won't just take you down. I'll put you out.
Did you just go on Instagram on the card, see his name?
No, his future mother-in-law told me about it at breakfast. That's how I found out. Yeah.
Oh, I can't imagine Bisping.
So I played along because I didn't want to make
right. You want to act like
because it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I know a little thing about fighting. I don't even know
Former
this.
UFC champion,
Hall
UFC analyst, Hall of Fame.
Your father, I pay for the training of the gym you go
You're
to.
a Bisping, damn it.
My God. Anyway.
So I'm going to bring up this next fight.
Hey.
Yeah, what
Can
happened?
I run for a quick pace?
Yeah, go.
Hold on.
So I'm going to bring up this next fight real quick. And I kind of just want you to walk me through this. So on this fight, a lot of people were talking about, like, obviously I love this sport because nothing makes sense until it actually makes sense. But like your hands, the speed, the power, the way you throw hands, the vicious ground and pound, like this Cody fight brought out a lot in you that I think a lot of people were expecting or weren't expecting of you, but your name's been propped up so heavy by the UFC. Everybody's expecting you to be like the golden child at this point.
Yeah.
You know, I saw in our Jaxxon podcast Discord, a lot of people were comparing you to Sage Northcutt just because of how fast they try to propel him.
You know, Sage Northcutt and I were in the same high school wrestling bracket state tournament my senior year. Yeah, he was in my weight.
Did you wrestle him?
No, I never did.
Oh, wow.
Nope.
Did you win that tournament?
I did, yeah. Yeah.
So that would expect it, or that would be expected.
That's kind of funny, though.
So, like, you know, and I was asking the podcast, the Discord, I said, listen, we have Bisping coming on. What do you guys want to know? And they were saying, what, you know, kind of different techniques, different training programs, protocols, what did you put together to kind of bring your hands out for this fight? Because it seemed like a new Bo Nickal.
Yeah, I think that one thing that was interesting about Brundage, he was a college wrestler. So obviously a guy that had some pretty good wrestling experience. And he also, striking-wise, was like a very unorthodox guy, you know, would throw spinning back fist, would throw, you know, a lot of stuff with like big power, but we knew
very unpredictable.
Yeah. And I knew that he also would like fade. So in my mind going into the fight, I was like, all right, let's be patient. Let's control the distance, control the range. Like he's going to come at me with crazy stuff, but let's just like basically not play that game. Like I don't want to play the game of, you know, we're both throwing crazy stuff at the same time. And then in the fight, I felt like I didn't really do that. You know, we had a couple of clashes a few times where he's coming in, I'm coming in, which I think was better for him than me. But this was a good experience and a good fight for me because I needed somebody that was going to like throw stuff at me and really try to like hurt me and stuff. And you can see right there, he's got a little bit of wrestling, good lat drop and stuff like that. But yeah, I kind of honestly for this fight was a little disappointed in my performance because I felt like it wasn't as clean as I would have liked it to be. And that's a testament to him too for kind of making it a little sloppy, making it unorthodox. Once I got him on the ground, I felt
when did you finish? First round?
Second round. So
second round
that was the
finish.
first time I hit the second round, which was good for me as well to fight, you know, longer than a minute or two. But yeah, I felt like once we got on the ground, he did a good job initially of just like tying my arms up, trying to make sure I didn't get the finish. But it, you know, eventually like it was a losing game for him. I was eventually going to get something locked up to the point where I could finish him. But yeah, it was a good experience, good fight for me overall. I think again, I wasn't happy with the performance, but I definitely learned a lot.
Bisping, you're like so iconic for this like unpredictability of just being violent, like in the cage. Like you took the fight to people. You didn't care who you were fighting. You fought like this very like, almost like I would compare it to like a street fighter. Like you just did everything it would take. And like,
sloppy.
No, just like you just don't care.
Yeah.
You're like the ultimate dog, you know? Like you have grit. You're like the grit god, you know?
Yeah,
and it's like
well, I have the record for getting dropped the most amount of time.
Is that right?
Fight, and then going on to win the fight.
That's great.
Who's that against?
No. In all my fights,
all your
I get
fights.
dropped, but then come back and win.
Yeah,
which is a weird
that is weird.
compliment.
Even Coach Brillo.
You know what I mean? So you suck, but you're tough.
Yeah.
Coach Brillo is like one of the most decorated, you know, champions of coaches right now in MMA, and he always talks about how the gnarliest dude in the cage, the gnarliest dude in training was Michael Bisping that he ever worked with, that he ever saw. And that comes from a guy who helped BJ Penn win world titles and, you know, train some of the best fighters. So the reason why I bring this up is this unpredictability, like fighting a guy like Paul Craig moving on to this fight.
Yeah.
Did you expect that you were going to have to do something? Because I feel like a lot of people were expecting this crazy fight, this dog fight, but I don't think it really went that way.
No, it didn't. I think that this fight is interesting because, we look at the Cody Brundage fight and I was pretty disappointed in my performance, but I got the finish versus the Paul Craig fight. I actually felt pretty good about it. I felt like, I went in, I controlled the distance, controlled the pace. I landed a lot of good shots on him. And he didn't really land anything on me. And I felt like, I got to go 15 minutes, which was exciting to just be able to test my cardio a little bit.
Yep.
But overall, I feel like I was happy with this performance at this stage in my career, which most people, they want to see blood. They want to see a knockout. They want to see, a guy cut open. They want to see a finish. And it didn't go that way this time. But I felt like I did everything that I needed to do in this fight to dominate the position, to control the situations that I was in, and I landed a lot on him, and he's a tough guy. So
yeah, and stylistically, this was a tricky match.
It was.
Right? I mean, people look at this. I mean, Paul Craig off his back, it's very, very dangerous. Submitted Magomed Ankalaev with 1 second left in the fight.
Right.
Off and off his back, he catches people in all kinds of stuff. Obviously, you know how to do jiu-jitsu, but they looked at this as wrestler versus jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And because it wasn't, I don't know, rock'em sock'em robots, and it's a bit more technical on the feet, and you weren't shooting it and using your jiu-jitsu, that's when I think, people in the arena started booing, and then online people started talking shit, and that's when kind of like, I don't know, this anti-Bo Nickal wave started to appear.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
For sure. Yeah, it definitely started right there. Up to that point, I had finished everybody pretty quickly. My longest fight was Cody Brundage, finished him in the second round. And I felt like, in the fight with Paul Craig, of course, I want to go out there and finish the guy. Like, I think everybody that is a fighter, that's ideal, right? But it didn't go that way, and I felt like my poise and patience were tested because I could have tried to go for broke and get a finish and feel pressure that, I need to do this certain thing or this to please the fans or whatever it is. And I think that what most people don't consider is exactly what we said is like, yeah, man, if I go out there and knock him out in 30 seconds, I would love to. And we can't ignore the fact that, as you mentioned, Paul Craig has finished Jamal Hill, broke his arm, then finished Magomed Ankalaev with 1 second left in the fight. So he's dangerous for the entire 15 minutes. We know that. So, understanding those things and feeling
he's awkward on the feet as well.
He's
tall, he's long,
6'4".
he's got power.
I know they told me They told me that fight night weights, or I saw it or somewhere, something like that, Paul Craig came in at 224.
Wow.
Right? So from 185 to 224, he's 40 pounds heavier. I weighed in at maybe 203, 205, something like that. So he's a big guy. He's long. It's awkward. Man, I'm trying to go in there and do my thing and finish the fight, of course. But as we can look with, all my fights, that's the only one that's ever gone to decision. But it started off, people kind of being upset about it and things like that, because I think I had a precedent set that was unsustainable.
Yeah, correct. I think you hit the nail on the head. You were smoking everybody, walking right through them.
And I was talking pretty crazy too.
Yeah, well, you were. You were talking like you were going to come in and own the sport, which is fair enough.
Right.
Because you came on my podcast and we were talking about that. And I'm like, you're not being arrogant. You just know what you are capable of because of the system that you've been through since a young child.
Maybe I was being a little bit arrogant, but I think that when I look at myself,
realistically,
that's a great point.
I think
you know what I'm saying.
Understanding the game.
It's I know what I'm capable of,
right?
And if unless some weird spinning back elbow like Aaron Pico catches me as I come in, technically on paper, I've got the ability to make this look relatively easy, which is kind of what you were saying. And then when you don't smoke everyone goes, look at this
sucks.
guy.
Yeah,
trash.
Yeah,
that's also the MMA fan.
It is. Yeah,
I've watched TJ. I've watched the podcast we did with Rampage. Everything is always we sit down with guests, and it's always I was doing good, then the whole community turned on me. I mean, we forget that Izzy was probably one of the most complete middleweights of all time. Now he's not even the main event. He's not even on a numbered card. Izzy's a legend. It's crazy to me.
It's
but
unforgiving.
you just got to ignore them because you can't please everybody. You're always going to upset anyone. And the moment you start pandering to them, the moment you start trying to make the fan base happy in that regard is when you're not being yourself. Then you start to be fake. Then it all comes across as all kind of cringy.
Yeah.
Just walk your own path, live your own life, fight the way you want to fight. And
I got a question for you, Mike. Do you think Bo needs a little bit more nastiness, more grittiness to him to win a world championship in the UFC?
Not from what we're seeing here, not from the way that he knocked out Robocop cold, the way he's choking everybody out. I mean, you have got to be nasty. It's not a sport for, for nice guys, so to speak.
Right.
But he's got that. You've got that, right?
Yeah. I mean, so the thing for me, like, I'm going to handle myself, in conversations like this or when conversations with the media, like a certain way, because that's how I was raised and that's what I've been around. That's all the, role models in my life. When I look at like my dad or I look at Coach Chael Sanderson at Penn State, like they handle themselves a certain way. And so I try to, handle myself a certain way.
Sure.
But I look at when I'm fighting and when I'm competing, like I'm not here to, be your friend or dap you up, or I don't even touch gloves at the beginning of the fight. Like I'm here to.
I hate that.
Yeah, I'm here to whoop your ass.
Yeah.
So
why?
The fight started
because we're fighting, and anytime when they touch gloves, when there's one guy, because you see it at the start of every fight, some guy's going, "Are we?
Yeah.
Are we touching gloves?" That guy's scared.
Yeah. It's like,
that guy's scared. That guy's like, hey, we're buddies, right?
Yeah.
We're buddies. And take it easy on me because, hey, look at that. No, maybe in the final round, if it's been a really good walk out, have a hug or whatever, say, right, now I'm going to whoop your ass. But at the first round, and then when I see fighters going, high-fiving in the middle of the round and shit, I'm like I hate it.
Oh, that irritates you. Yeah, you're
I
a different
hate
animal,
it.
though. You're a different era. Like what you said, like your era is so
that.
bloody and violent. We're not. Do you feel like we have those same? I don't feel like it's me growing up watching the UFC. It was bloody. It was violent. It was chaos. Now it's like very technical, very skillful. There's not as much blood, not as much violence.
I'm not going to say that as a UFC commentator.
Oh, got it.
Obviously, I'm biased.
I don't mean that in a bad way.
I'm biased to my era.
Yeah, I don't mean that in a bad way.
No,
I just meant growing up. I loved watching the.
Yeah.
I was 19.
My
first client was Anderson Silva. Watching that guy go out there, I knew I was going to see chaos.
Yeah.
Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald.
One of my favorite
But
fights.
we still get those kind of fights.
Yeah. I think that when you look back at history, like those are the ones you remember and those are the ones you appreciate, but those are still like few and far between no matter what, right?
Yeah.
It's tough point. To like. I mean, you look at one of the good examples.
BJ Penn back in the day.
Dude.
Licking the blood.
We need
stuff.
that. The Diaz brothers. We need that.
A great.
Diaz is coming back. He's going to be champion of the world.
Oh, I saw that. Did you see that?
I did. Yeah.
That's your weight class.
Let's go.
He wants Hamza. How would you fight a guy like Diaz? Nick Diaz, the legend.
I don't know. I would take him down. Probably finish him. I don't know. Like
he has insane jiu-jitsu. He says he has what it takes.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that time is undefeated at the end of the day. And I mean, he's a guy. I respect the hell out of Nick and Nate both. Like they're amazing fighters and they had amazing fights, a lot of wins, losses, and you got to respect those guys. But yeah, I mean, coming in at that age without having fought in a long time, it's tough. Like
it is.
It's not easy to do.
Can he make a comeback, Mike?
I mean, I always say this. Human beings are capable of a lot of things, and if you've got that inside you, I mean, look at what Nick Diaz has done. Look at that fight against Paul Daly in Strikeforce, one of the sickest fights you're ever going to see.
100%.
We know that he has the mentality, and we also know, sadly, that he went through some personal struggles. I think he's been in it's been in online. He went to rehab and all this kind of stuff. So if he's cleaned up his life and he really, really wants to do it, 42 years old, it wouldn't be unheard of. Yeah. And if anyone can do it, it's Nick Diaz. It's like with Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor kind of dropped off and lost a few fights and this and that. And apparently now he's on the straight and narrow and he's found himself. And I was talking about this recently. I'm like, anyone that doubts Conor McGregor to be able to make a comeback is out of their mind. He's still only 37 years old. Look at what he was able to do. Yeah, he lost a few. Yeah, he put some weight on. Yeah, he bulked up and this and that. Mm-hmm. You telling me that guy can't turn it around? Yes, maybe it won't be the same one from 2016. But geez, Louise, come on.
The same people.
Glover, DC, Anderson Silva, Randy Couture. These are all guys that won 40 plus years old.
So. And you look at the people that say like, oh, you're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to do that. They're the same people that were saying that, when Conor McGregor was a plumber, right? Or they're the same people that are they're just negative all the time, right? So I think that it's more of a mindset of like, hey,
because I don't think do it.
Yeah, I don't think I can do it. So obviously, you know, I got to project that onto you, right? Like, which is sad, you know.
I would love to see Nick Diaz come back and make.
They got to give him a good fight, though. We want to see, as MMA fans, we want to see him just fight a good fight and let him kind of ride off into the sunset and give him some support. They shouldn't just throw him in there with the. I mean, they were trying to give Nate Diaz. Hamza as his last fight, and then and then they were switching
but hold on a minute.
It's crazy.
There was a lot of people talking shit about that at the time.
Why?
Well, because they felt it was a mismatch.
Yeah.
And I was like, hold on, it's not a mismatch. Nate Diaz is one of the biggest stars in the division. He's been there for a while. If Khamzat Chimaev is a welterweight fighter, what is the issue?
Right.
What is the issue with that?
Yeah, if you're in the weight class and you're signed on the roster, like,
and you've got more experience.
I just think that
and
MMA
you're talking about being a champion
that aren't champions and guys who don't fight like myself that are just fans of MMA. We want to see our idols go off properly.
Of course.
And we don't want to see them have these insane fights as their last 2 or 3 fights of their career.
But that's not the nature of combat sports.
True.
That's not what this sport is all about.
That's not the nature of the world.
And it's just not. This sport will chew you up, use you, and then spit you out the other end. And you hope at the other end you've made enough money and you've got enough memories and you've got your faculties in place and you can set some things up for a great life afterwards. You know, it's not a sport to do you favors.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
It's dog eat dog. Totally. Simple as that.
Yep. And if anybody knows that, it's you. I mean, you won the title, you did the thing, and now you're still with ESPN or now Paramount. No, I'm saying like you have a blueprint. So fighters want to understand it. They got to go talk to you. I feel like you have set it up properly. Yeah, and it's good to see.
But I mean, I lost #1 contender fights time after time after time after time. You know, as I said, this sport's unforgiving. And if you're good enough, you'll do well. If you're not good enough, then guess what? It's like in wrestling. If you're not good enough, what happens?
Yeah,
tough shit.
You don't make it.
You know, see you later, buddy.
Yeah, you're not the guy.
I got a question for both of you. Who do you think has the most padded ranking right now? Who has the most padded ranking in the middleweight division?
Well, again,
De Ritter. He's only beat bums.
Oh my God!
What is he ranked at?
Yeah,
my vision's not the best. Get that back up there.
Let me see. What is De Ritter?
I'm just playing because
I like De Ritter. I like De Ritter.
I'm just saying because he beat me. So.
I know he did it. That was a hell of a knee.
That was crazy.
He got you good.
Honestly,
that was a good learning curve for you, though.
It was the best thing that's happened to me in my career. But no, I was just playing. I'm saying he's
which weight class? Middleweight.
Middleweight. He's 8th right now. He's 8. Robert Whitaker's 9. Kaio's 7. Israel Adesanya's 6.
Well. The welterweight division, there's one that jumps off the page there.
Yeah, let me see.
You know,
why? Who do you think's got the most padded?
Scroll down the bottom there.
Okay,
scroll
let me see.
Who's that? Number 13.
Colby Covington.
He's had a win in a very, 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 very long time. Respectfully, I like Colby. He's awesome.
You should wrestle Colby Covington in Real American Freestyle.
I'm trying to get he said no, but I'm trying to get a fight with him in June 16th.
You're trying to fight him in the UFC?
Yeah.
On the White House card?
Yes,
at welterweight.
Oh!
He said after
Catchweight.
he did a Real American Freestyle event in January.
That's right. He said he's done with welter.
He said he's going up to middleweight. So I said, I'll welcome you, brother. Let's do it.
And have there been some real conversations about this?
Yeah, I mean, really the conversations were him saying, you know, he's moving up to middleweight and me saying, I would love to retire you. Like, let's like.
No, but I mean, has there been, do the UFC know about
I think the UFC might, I think they might want it. There's been some media buzz and stuff like that. You know, obviously it's a big card. I think it makes sense with us both being, you know, some of President Trump's favorite fighters, so I think that, I think they like the fight. I think the biggest question is just, would Colby take the fight, right? Like that's something that he probably knows what's going to happen. So,
which is what?
I'll kill him.
You'll kill him. I thought you were going to say, I'll beat him.
I like this bow. Bow's got a little bit more grit. Okay, I got another question for you. Is there a single fighter in the UFC right now that you think could out wrestle you?
In a wrestling match?
Yeah.
This is the question.
Pereira.
Yeah. What about Khamzat Chimaev?
That would be a fun one.
That's the most scariest wrestling match in the UFC.
I would love that. That would be super fun. You know, honestly, like, of course, like in a wrestling match, I believe 100% I'm winning that match.
Khamzat?
Yeah, for sure. But I think that
you can't be 100%. That guy's a monster.
He is a monster.
All right, 101%. That's the lowest I'll go.
Really?
But have you seen him?
Yeah.
What makes you?
I watch a ton of film on him.
And what do you think? Why are you so confident?
it has nothing to do with him. It just has to do with my belief in myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
honestly, you can't hate on that.
That's a fair answer.
I think Hamza is probably, I think in the UFC right now, wrestling wise, I think him and I are the best wrestlers.
So like, he did have an
organization.
issue with cardio.
Right.
But
not anymore. Not with Sam Calavitta.
I'm
That's
telling
his
you.
guy.
Yeah. Is he really?
Yeah. I've worked with Coach Cal for a long
against
time.
Drickus, 5 rounds, good
great.
pace.
Yeah.
So
great.
when he came here, this is a true story. TJ Dillashaw, who does my co-hosting of all the recaps, big Jaxxon athlete of ours, he's been influential in helping me navigate putting together the recaps. You know, this year we're doing all the like interview style content and in the cage with Bisping. And TJ and Khalil Roundtree are doing the recaps. Rampage is live streaming, doing his thing, killing it. So we changed it up for the year. But one thing TJ said is, if you're going to bring Armin here and do his camp, if you're going to bring Hamza here and do his camp, because that was my dream. I just want to build the facility, Jaxxon Media House, and bring these guys here, do the camps, film my own like embedded. That's just the only dream I had for the brand. He's like, we got to get them the right conditioning. You can't just have them here working out. You got to get them the right conditioning. We have the coaches. We have the jiu-jitsu. We have the grappling. So Sam Calavitta was the first name. TJ called him. TJ's like, Sam, what can we do for Armin? He's like, Armin needs a complete revamp of his training program, his supplements, everything. Can you walk us through how influential Sam's been even for you?
Oh, massive. So Coach Cal, actually, I've been working with him since probably 2016, 2017. So he worked with the Penn State wrestling program and my coaches long before I was even at Penn State. So they had their relationship with Coach Cal. And when I kind of started to get to know him and understand, like, wow, this guy is really a legitimate
like a mad scientist.
Yeah, legitimate genius, like expert in his field, the best of the best as far as strength and conditioning, nutrition, recovery goes. So, of course, I wanted to work with him. And I've been working with him for a long time. He helps plan out all my training camps, plan out all my diet, my weight cuts, everything. And it's actually funny, when Coach Cal, when Armin and Hamzat wanted to work with him, Coach Cal called me and he's like, hey, I got to ask you a question. Like, would you be okay with me working with Hamzat? Because I know you guys are the same weight and, you guys talked about, competing against each other and stuff. And I said,
I'd have said no. Because you're my coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he owns training lab. That's what he does.
I know, but
So he was.
So I used to train.
Mike just wants to win. Mike just wants to win.
No, but I used to train with Scott Prohaska.
Right.
He lives around here.
Yeah.
He was my coach. He was my strength and conditioning coach. If he's training with I would not allow him to train a future opponent of mine. Certainly, if he was the champion in the division.
Did Perillo ever train another middleweight while you were training with him?
No.
Yeah. So I feel
that's
like
a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Because what happens if you get to the point
Right.
where you're fighting him for the belt?
Right.
What's he going to do? Train both of you? Or is he going to drop one of you? And then when he drops one of you, he tells the other one, he fucking gets tired in this situation. And blah, 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 blah.
It's a good question.
It's a conflict of interest all day
If you
long.
fight, do you both train in the garage at the same time?
I don't know. I feel like
He trained in his garage.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. No, I've obviously.
Is that in your Belinda?
Yeah. I've never trained obviously with Hamzat, but trained in the garage many times. He's also trained in the garage many times, and I don't know. I never really thought about it. For me, I felt like, like it's really no big deal to have the same strength and conditioning coach, and
it's too close.
I felt like
I don't like it.
Yeah, I felt like for me, of course, like I think initially,
You know what I'm saying?
Sorry to cut you off, because if you guys do fight,
because you plan on winning,
Yeah.
you plan on making it to the belt, and he still plans on being champion,
Right.
Unless he's going to go fight Pereira and move up to 205.
I think that's likely, but I also feel like for me, I don't really care what anyone else is doing. I'm worried about myself, and so, and again, my goal with fighting, it's not to beat a person. Like I want to be the best I can be and get as good as I can. And it has nothing to do with anyone else. It's all a personal, internal journey. And so for me, the biggest challenges are the most exciting. So if I'm fighting Hamzat, I want to win, but I also want to fight like the best version of that guy. I don't want to fight a guy who's like, didn't have this or didn't have that. It's like, I want to beat the best guy. So it doesn't have anything to do with, other people. It's just more me internal, being competitive and wanting to win. And if, the training that other people are doing has nothing to do with how hard I train or how much work I put in, how disciplined I am. So I know what I do. I don't feel like most people are willing to make those sacrifices and do everything right and really like live this. And so, whatever anybody else is doing has no bearing on me. Yeah.
Mike, I got
but I get what you're saying too.
Yeah,
it's like,
I mean, That's your take.
It'd be tough.
Yeah.
I disagree,
Mike's
mate.
like, no. Mike's like, that sounds all good.
I'm like,
but it ain't
yeah, I mean,
happening.
I'm not going to
No,
disagree.
I see where you're coming from.
That's
Because
your-
someone's got to get cut. If you guys are fighting, you ain't both training in the garage.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hopefully
I don't
it's not
know.
Hamza, because that's how I get him to come here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, it
Hamza's
definitely
probably
would be.
going to go 2 or 5.
If Sam had to choose one,
Well, he already told me that he would.
What? He's what? He would take you.
Well, he asked me if it was okay for him to train him.
Okay.
He said, I won't do it if you say no.
Okay.
oh, see, that's good. So at
Yeah,
least
yeah.
you know the coach has
He
some
says
loyalty.
that's what he said.
Hierarchy.
At least you know where you stand.
The call in the conversation was, hey, I've been working with Armin Sarukian. He's asked me about another guy that wants to come in. You know, you guys are in the same weight class. It's Hamza. Would you be okay with me training him? If you don't want me to train him, I won't. And I said, no, it's fine.
Yeah, and we just got Khalil Roundtree. I just had Sam's daughter come out here and meet him, and
Nice.
so now we have Armin, Hamza, and Khalil Roundtree.
Yeah.
And then they're doing all their sparring and all their
great.
conditioning there. I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah.
amazing though. Sam's such a genius.
He
So.
is.
And when
Yeah.
his daughter
He's
drops
the best
off
of the
the
best.
food to Armin, we see everything, and Armin's like, this guy eats so much. He's so fat.
Does he
but
really?
He just eats all day.
I love his
That's
videos.
all he
When I
does
see
is
the
eat.
videos,
The videos
of
are great.
eating these huge plates
Yeah,
and whatnot.
we go to eat.
The
We go to
camel or
Nobu. He
something.
orders one of everything to get an Instagram video. Leaves me with the bill. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. I go, that's a lot of fish. I have a question for you, Mike. Who do you think is the most complete middleweight of all time?
Complete middleweight. Oh, of all time.
all time.
Of
All
all
time?
time. I mean, that's a tough question. I mean, the best middleweight of all time clearly is Anderson Silva. That's without a shadow of a doubt. But was he the most complete? Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, his striking was ridiculous. His ground game was second to none. I mean, he was phenomenal, and he could pull off a submission at the last minute, just like he did against Chael Sonnen. Takedown defense wasn't bad. I mean, when I fought him, I mean, again, I'm no Bo Nickal, but you know, I could wrestle people when I needed to, and I couldn't get near his hips.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the knockout ability that he had.
Yeah.
That's why he went on, 12 title defenses
Right.
in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't argue with that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in our Jaxxon podcast Discord have been
And
saying
mentally, Anderson Silva.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what sets him apart
Bruce
from
Lee and Samurai.
everyone.
Bruce Lee
Exactly.
Samurai level. He's so disciplined. He was
Right.
the first guy I ever got to work with when I was 19. That's how I got
Wow.
my start in like building
Yeah.
brands. He let me sponsor him and make merch for him, and so mentally
So
always
calm.
focused. Yeah, dude.
You know, he's the epitome of a real martial
Right.
artist.
Yeah.
And he's very humble. Like
Yeah.
he is so nice with people.
Yeah.
But a lot of people in the podcast and the Discord, they have been saying it's between Anderson Silva and Izzy. Do you believe that?
I mean, Izzy's phenomenal.
Right.
I mean, I'm certainly not
But
going
do you
to
think
sit
he's up
here
there,
and
one or
bad man.
two?
Yeah, I mean, he's up there. Of course,
Yeah.
he's in the conversation. Yeah.
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 But I think there's a conversation, and then you got Anderson Silva all the way kicking back on
Got
an
it.
island by himself.
Got it.
Drinking
There's that level of
margaritas.
separation.
We're
I
forgetting
believe
about somebody, though.
Say
Who?
again.
Chael Sonnen.
Chael Sonnen.
Undefeated, undisputed.
Chael is one of the greatest of all time. I watch all of his breakdowns. I watch his entire YouTube.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see him. Apparently, he is going to be wrestling, and I'm breaking the news here because I don't care if he gets mad at me. Luke Rockhold at the next Real American Freestyle. Or it was
That
going to
is
be
sick.
Tito Ortiz, but Luke, I
That's
think,
sick.
is ready to sign the paper.
I love it.
Fair play to Luke, man.
Luke's
I love
the
how we
king
keep
of side
doing
quest.
these
Honestly,
things.
it's awesome.
I love it. I
Side
do.
quest king.
It's cool. I love that.
I mean,
Yeah.
you've had some interactions.
He's competed
with him.
in
You know
more
him.
martial arts. He's had to have like a record. for
Karate combat,
Karate
bare
combat,
knuckle,
bare knuckle.
UFC,
Yeah.
Regular
He
boxing.
also did regular
Boxing.
boxing against
Now wrestling.
Darren
Darren
Till.
Till.
CGI.
See, don't make that face. And then he also just did Real American Freestyle.
It might be time to stop doing all of those, but
Yeah.
the wrestling against Chael, fill your boots.
He'll win that
Yeah.
one, right? Hopefully, please.
I don't know.
That'd be a
I
good
need
match.
to win.
I wrestled Chael.
Okay.
Years ago in
Yeah,
where was
yeah.
it? Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
We did a wrestling match.
A
It was like
real match?
a real wrestling
Nice.
match. No, submission grappling. What am I
Okay.
saying?
Submission grappling.
Submission
Yeah,
grappling
yeah,
match.
yeah.
It was a draw. It was
Okay,
a draw.
good.
It was boring.
Did anybody take each other down?
I took him down once. He did he get a clean takedown? No, he didn't.
Okay.
I took him down. I did a scissors takedown.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Little
I did a
Scissor sweep.
scissor Chael.
Nice.
Yeah, to Chael, and I almost got him in a heel hook
Nice.
near the end. Yeah.
Nice.
And can you imagine going your entire career never being submitted? Chael Sonnen's never been submitted.
That's pretty cool.
Is that true?
He said it on his podcast.
Well, he's
He
never.
says a lot of things.
He's never lost around.
I'm pretty sure I saw John Jones just absolutely demolish him.
think
I
that
don't
fight
remember
counted.
that. I think
Yeah,
you're. I don't remember that.
If you watch Chael Sonnen, I don't think that counted.
Yeah, yeah.
I got a question. I got two more questions,
Chael's
and
the
then
man.
we're gonna hop in the
Chael
cage.
is the man.
He's my favorite
love
by far.
Chael.
Anybody who watches
Best
this
on the mic.
podcast
By the way,
knows
by the
about
way,
Chael.
you know he's a wild man and he's got so many opinions. When you're with Chael, he's so chill.
Yeah.
Like he's the quietest guy in the room. He's sitting there. He's got his legs crossed and he's just looking at his phone and no controversy. Just an awesome.
Bro,
yeah,
he's Uncle Chael. Eventually, I'm going to get it on here.
Yeah.
We were FaceTiming back and forth, and he only sends me videos instead of texting. So he doesn't text me. He sends me selfie videos.
Yeah.
That's how he messages.
It's crazy.
And so, like, instead of saying, hey, Bear, he'll be like, hey, Bear, how you doing? And then send me the video.
Yeah.
But he's phenomenal. We are going to be hopping in the cage in about 5 minutes and showing you guys a lot of breakdowns, things in the division that we think are going to be happening, what fights coming up. Bisping and Bo will kind of give us their take on it. I got a few questions, a little rapid fire for you guys. Mike, who do you think Bo gives the most work in the division?
The most work in the division. I mean, can we see the rankings? There we go.
Yeah, right here.
I mean, I would love to see him versus Hamzat. I want to see that.
You really want to see that?
In terms of the wrestling, of course, because, I mean,
Yeah.
listen, Hamzat's got ridiculous power. We know that he can knock people out with one shot. But the big threat that he has is the wrestling, and maybe that's what opens up these massive shots for him. We know the wrestling ability of Bo. I would love to see that matchup one day. But you got to earn it, of course.
Of course,
And you're
yeah.
a way off, respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully, I have a long way to go. So, I think that's the exciting matchup, but we'll see. I would think that right now where I'm at, I got to win at least
What do you
3-4 fights.
What do you
to
think
be
about
even
Strickland
close.
and Hernandez?
That's going to be good.
That's a great fight. It's a very interesting fight because both guys have awesome cardio, and that's been like, I would say, their biggest asset, like getting guys tired. I think Hernandez has a little bit, I don't know if well-rounded is the right word, but a little bit more like he uses more
Grappling.
tools. Yeah, he uses more grappling, he uses more jiu-jitsu, obviously the striking. I think Strickland has underrated
Strickland's good
wrestling.
on the ground.
Yeah, underrated wrestling, underrated stand-up. So
I used to spar with Strickland all the
Yeah.
time, like for
Yeah.
years.
Where at?
Ruka,
At Ruka,
and then at Rain Training Center.
Yeah.
And how was
For
he as a
years.
sparring partner? Good?
Yeah, he was all right. Yeah, I mean, he would spar the way he fights.
Yeah.
But on the ground, I'm saying on the ground,
Right.
he's really, really good.
Yeah, I've heard
very,
that from
very
a few
tricky,
people.
good sweeps, good submissions.
Right.
The first time I ever sparred Sean Strickland, it was at Millennia MMA, Inland Empire. I go up to spar with Lorenz Larkin, right?
Yeah.
And there's some young cocky kid with a skinhead. It's Sean Strickland. I've never seen him before in my life. He's like, hey, want to get around? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I've just done like a few rounds with Lorenz.
Yeah.
I go in there, we have a little spar, whatever. Not a lot happens. And at the end of it, he's like, I'm even better on the ground. And I'm like, what do you mean?
Like,
He's
okay.
like, wow, I just kicked your ass. I'm like, you did not kick my ass. You did not kick my ass. But he is pretty good on the ground.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, let's roll. I'm like, so he's always been the same.
Which fighter do you think is being slept on the most in the middleweight division?
Oh, jeez.
Honestly,
Nazardine Imavov.
Oh, he's good.
He has to get the next shot.
He's good.
Have you seen the hand speed of this guy?
Yeah, I saw the video of him, and then Hamzat said, yo, give him the fight if he wants it. And he was hitting pads. I saw that video. Yeah,
He's
good.
so fast. He can wrestle, beautiful striking, and he's the next guy.
Right.
He should be fighting Hamzat. That's
Yeah.
why they have rankings.
Right.
He's the number one contender.
Well, then Armin should be fighting Ilya.
totally.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's
you're
why we
right.
have rankings.
I mean,
This is killing me,
if
dude.
you want to talk about being
Oh,
slept
they
on,
moved him to number 2.
Dricus Duplessis, he's also being slept on. Don't forget about Dricus. He had a bad night in the office against Hamzat Chimaev. People forget about everything that he did before that.
For sure.
You
That's
know?
the way. That's MMA.
Which fighter has the worst cardio in the top 15 in the middleweight
The
division? Bo?
worst cardio.
This one's for Bo.
Cardio. I mean, there's some. I mean, you can look at a few. Probably got to be, I guess, Paulo Costa.
I was gonna say, you got to go with the juice.
The Jews.
Yeah.
The juice, baby.
Oh,
you can't be that handsome and have that
Can't
good
have it
cardio.
all.
It's not
You can't
fair.
have it
You
all.
can't do it. You can't do
Who
it.
wins in a street fight, Strickland or Chimaev?
Strickland or Chimaev. All
street fight,
day
yeah.
long.
Hamzat Chimaev or
Yeah,
Strickland?
come on,
Yeah.
man. I mean, Strickland's a wild
There's
guy.
not that much. I think if you look at, let's say UFC fighters are going to fight in a street fight, I don't think there's much difference between who's going to win in a UFC fight versus street fight.
I don't know. I call bullshit on that.
I think there's
Why?
maybe there's a couple
because
guys.
I'm a
but
different animal in the street.
Really?
How?
What? Yeah.
you could
what's
do
up?
all the same things in the
Yeah,
cage.
you can, but
eye
like,
gouge, you
you
can
can
bite 'em.
really get creative. Like your face is going into the corner of that table,
Yeah.
and when your face goes down, I'm stamping on that.
Did
fucking
you grow
head.
up fighting in the streets?
Yeah, of course I
Oh,
did.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You
you
know,
were
that's how I knew I
wired
could
that way.
fight.
You were
Yeah.
wired
I mean,
that
look
way.
at Baz Rutten. Have you seen those videos
Yeah.
that he used to do? Bing, bing, bop,
Yeah.
eye pokes and all the rest of it.
Right.
It's a different world, man.
Yeah.
Saying that though, Strickland will have a gun on him and probably shoot him. So on the street,
that's actually
Strickland.
good point.
Yeah,
We have,
he's got a shotgun.
Mike, this one's for you. Who has the worst tattoos in the UFC?
Ooh. Well, back in the day, it used to be, what was his name? Alan Belcher. Because remember he had the Johnny Cash tattoo?
The sleeve?
But right now, who has the worst tattoos? Give me some inspiration. I can't remember.
I don't know. I can't.
The
think
worst tattoos in the UFC. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I can't say it. I'm not a fighter.
Yeah, but just throw a few bad tattoo names at me.
I don't know. I see a lot of people having the same resemblance as McGregor's kind of.
Oh, yeah.
McGregor's, like, I see a lot of fighters right now kind of really putting together the whole artwork pieces, kind of similar, resembling the same positioning as.
Yeah, because back in the day, it used to be the wings, the angel wings on the back.
Tony Ferguson.
Anthony Pettis, Tony Ferguson, Max Holloway.
Yeah.
There's probably a few others.
Okay, I got one for you, Bo. Bisping with 2 eyes at 185 versus Bo Nickal. Who wins?
2 eyes?
2 eyes.
Bro, come on. That's not fair. He got nerfed because he was too strong with 2 eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
He got nerfed. That's
He's too nice.
Yeah, he's too
nice.
So we're gonna hop in the cage. There's one more. It says no explanation. Bo, who would you rather fight, Strickland or Whitaker?
Probably Whitaker.
Adesanya or Dricus?
Ooh, Adesanya.
Hamzat or Brendan Allen?
Hamzat.
Oh my God, that's
How
crazy.
are you with Brendan Allen?
I've never had a conversation with him. No.
Most people seem to have some beef with him.
Yeah,
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I've never spoke to him, but his last fight against De Ritter, he looked great. So yeah.
Nazardine versus Jared Cannonier.
Like, who would I rather fight? Nazardine.
Wow.
Imavov.
Okay, so we're gonna hop in the cage. We're gonna kind of walk through some things. I got, Oliveira's fighting Batista. Batista's been training in Arizona with Robert Emerson, a good friend of mine. And so I've been watching a lot of the behind the scenes on his close friends and things. So I want to kind of walk through that. He was supposed to fight Chito Vera a while back. So I want to see kind of from you guys, who do you think would win that bantamweight division? Strickland and Hernandez. What's it going to take for Sean Strickland to get that win, or Fluffy? And then we have Emmett versus Vallejo. Emmett's been trained by TJ Dillashaw, so a lot of good things coming out of that camp. Holloway and Oliveira, Kaio and RDR, and then RDR one I want to kind of hear from you.
Yeah.
And then the last one is Leron and Masvar, with people are talking about is the next one up probably to fight Volk.
Yep.
But obviously we don't know based off the
gotta
rankings.
be.
But it has to be, right? It
has to
Unless
be.
they give Diego the rematch.
2 guys. Diego for a third time?
They should give him the rematch.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You got Mobso, you got Leron. Both guys are undefeated.
Yeah.
They're like ranked number 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
come
got to
on.
do that. I think
They
on that
gotta
one,
do-
we got to
they gotta
follow the
do it. They
rankings.
gotta do
On
it.
right now, we're seeing a lot of the rankings not follow. Last thing I got for you, Mike, thanks for coming back from your
Of
world
course.
tour. But this
Yeah.
is an amazing
Yeah,
video.
I know,
Okay,
I know.
Let's break
Tough.
this down. So
Yeah.
right
Right.
here, I have you talking about how important it is that you have no sympathy for people that can't make the weight cut. Okay, and then all of a sudden, it seems like something happens. Can you walk me through what was going on?
Yeah, so
this is staged, right?
All right. No, it's not staged, but the timing couldn't be any better. So I'll explain it because I don't want to take away from the joke. So I'm saying, listen, I've got no sympathy for these guys. It's not hard, is it? And then right as I say, it's not hard, is it? In the background, the guy almost dies, falls face forward on the canvas. The biggest impact ever. Opens his cut on his
Your hand
chin.
doesn't even leave your pocket.
The internet goes ablaze. Oh, look at Bisping. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It's not hard. I never miss weight. Once. Do your job, right? You sign a contract. And I'll tell you this. See that guy that falls over? Boom. That's not who missed weight. That's not who I was talking about. Alex Perez missed weight. He was the guy before. So we're talking about a guy that left the scale a while ago, and then just as it happens, as I
And
went,
Alex
it's
Perez-
not hard, is it? And then boom.
To your point, Alex Perez ended up winning. The guy who always comes in a little bit over ends up always winning.
It's an advantage.
A lot.
It
Yeah.
is.
Dominic Cruz says that some people do it on purpose.
Hold on, before we go,
I
what are
disagree.
all these things?
Yeah.
What are they?
So
I don't know.
here you go. That's for you.
What are these?
Are these
here.
gifts?
Yeah,
This
what
is a
are
gift.
these?
This is
Ooh.
2717 Recovery Lotion. This is a company that I co-founded a few years ago. Basically, we have a really high-end lotion that has some copper peptides, some terpenes, essential oils, and a few different things to help with recovery, inflammation, any type of injuries that you have. It works really good on like a strained ligament or something that, like your fascia, neck, things like that. So
If this helps my neck,
yeah.
then this is a
It's going to help.
It's a miracle.
Yeah, so.
What is 27:17?
So 27:17 is after Proverbs 27:17, which is one of my favorite Bible verses. It's so as iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another. So kind of like, we all want to lift each other up, help each other get better, improvement.
Kind of like icy hot. Feels good.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of arnica in there to give a little bit of, get some blood flow going and stuff.
So I got choked out by Luke yesterday with Jansen when we were rolling, and he didn't let go. And then when he let go, he lifted up, and I felt my whole neck just pop. And I've been stiff all day.
Well,
Can't even move.
Get some 27-17 on it.
Yeah. All right, let's hop in the cage. Let's show these guys what we got cooking. Thanks for watching, guys. Now we're going to head over into the cage here at Jaxxon Media House. All right, we are back here in the cage at Jaxxon Media House. I'm sitting here with the co-host, Michael Bisping, and our guest, Bo Nickal. We're going to break down the next couple fight nights and numbered events. First on the menu is Strickland versus Fluffy. It's February 26th. It's a fight night for the UFC on Paramount Plus. And I kind of just want to go through you guys. What do you think? Obviously, they're in your division, but what do you think a guy like Fluffy's going to need to do to win versus Strickland, and then kind of Bisping, same thing? What do you think is going to happen during the fight?
Well, I'll let our guest go first.
Thank you. Yeah, I would say, for Fluffy, his keys to victory would definitely be mix it up, right? I think he has a few more tools than Strickland. So, if he can utilize, the striking, the clinch work on the cage, maybe make the fight a little dirty, add in some elbows, some knees, get him on the ground. He's probably not going to be able to hold him down, but just to mix it up, I think
clinch work on the cage is something Bisping brought up during the pod. Maybe we could show what you guys think and what you're talking about during that.
Yeah, but the thing is, straight away, Strickland's the taller guy, and he's got that jab, and it's a long, piercing jab, and Fluffy's going to try and come in and close the distance because he is. He's going to throw, he's going to shoot. Strickland's going to be moving around, he's going to be pumping that jab. When he has an opportunity, he follows up and makes it a 1-2, but he's going to be backing off a lot. So Fluffy's going to have to cut off the cage and then slowly but surely try and get him back here, and then from here, this is where Fluffy's going to take shots as he goes to here. Oh, look at this. Come on.
strong.
Let's have a look. Come on, take me down, Bo. Let's go. Take me down and see your way, Bo. Still got it.
He still got it. NCAA three-time champion Bo Nickal. Middleweight champion Michael Bisping. He's defending against the cage. Spider hooks. Reverse darce. It's coming. Armbar. Bisping is not playing around. He's going full wrestling against Bo Nickal. We're supposed to be breaking down the fight, and we got a full fight. Hey, the cage works great.
Cage's great.
That's what you were talking about. Ooh. Hey, what's the key? Hey, what is the key? I'm being serious. Like, what's the key to defend the takedown when you're using the cage?
Well, when Bo comes in here, and he's trying to go down, obviously you got to control this. Come down a little lower. You really use it though, and use your body weight into it. And I'm trying to get an underhook. If I've got an underhook, there's not a lot they can do. And if he grabs here, break the grip, underhook, and then from here, if he goes for the legs, it's just continuing that game and just be one step ahead the whole time.
Who do you
There's
think
no
has
secret.
better cage work, Strickland or Fluffy?
Strickland's done this for a long time. Fluffy's going to push the pace the whole time. He's going to be in his face. But Sean Strickland, he's a cardio machine as well.
Right.
I'm not.
Well, what do you think
anymore?
When you're utilizing the cage?
Yeah.
How much wrestling goes into that versus like that clinch work that he's talking about versus trying to get him taken down?
I think that from a defensive perspective, I like using the overhook, using the underhook, being able to circle off when you need to and control the position. But I think offensively, the most important thing that I've learned is not to just like sit. Like if I'm right here, I can't just sit here.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of energy for me. This guy can start to, as I learned in my fight with Ritter, land knees, land short stuff that is going to do damage. So for me, if I'm on offensive side from here, I'm going to look to do two things: either get to my body lock, step in, start to finish here, or if I can't get there, I'm going to come back up to the collar tie and start to pull the guy down, right? So if I can pull him down, control his head here, I feel really confident in this position. But I don't want to sit right here in the middle like this, because as I learned in my first fight with Ritter, I was here, I felt like I was going to control, boom, and he'd sneak these knees in. Right there. He can defend from here, control this overhook. On this single leg, I don't really feel in danger, right?
Certainly not against me.
but you can, you know, he can start punching, doing damage. So for the offensive guy, it's important to either, you know, be all in or away. I think that Fluffy does a good job of being all in, sliding back out, landing elbows, landing knees, and
Sean's hard to take down.
Right.
Fluffy's done a really good job against a lot of fighters, taking them down repeatedly, one after the other. They get back to the feet, he shoots again, he takes them down. That's exhausting, and Fluffy can play that game. He's got good hands. Not, you know, he's not like a world-class boxer, but he's got very, very good, capable hands.
Yeah.
Excellent jiu-jitsu, good wrestling, but the heart and the gas tank never stops. But on the flip side, Sean Strickland's a former champion.
Yeah.
Whew, he's got a lot to prove. He wants to come back and show the world that he's still got it,
Yeah.
that he's still a contender. So this is a must-win matchup for Sean Strickland. He's got a phenomenal team at Syndicate and Eric Nixick. So you know he's going to come into this one very prepared and with an excellent game plan.
yeah, definitely.
Our very own TJ Dillashaw has been training Josh Emmett, and he has a big fight coming up in March against Vallejos, and
Yeah.
he just came off a big win. Like, what do you think a guy like Josh Emmett, knowing that he has that crazy overhand power, what do you think he has to do to set that up this time to kind of get that win?
Well, it's going to be tough because what is he now, 42?
41, I think.
41, something like that, and I'm not being disrespectful.
No, yeah.
Vallejos, which is how you technically say it, commentary.
Really?
We get told, yeah, Vallejos, that's how you say it. Looks like Vallejos. I was saying
Vallejo.
I was saying Vallejos for a while.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, Michael, Vallejos.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, Vallejos is, do you know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Ilia Topuria.
No
I'm
way.
telling you, the way that he moves, the constant head movement, the feints and all the rest of it, that's what he's going to do against Josh Emmett. It's what he does against everybody. He's going to back Josh Emmett up. He's constantly going here, boom, boom. And because he's feinting all the time, Josh is not going to know when to throw. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Josh is just going to fight his fight, believe in himself, go out, swing like he always does. But if he swings too big and I'm here, I'm going to miss, boom, then he's going to get countered.
Bo, for a guy who has incredible ground game, obviously your wrestling's, you know, far above anybody else that you're going to see, except maybe Hamzat Chimaev. If you're fighting a guy that has a crazy overhand like that, you know he has crazy power. How do you wait to set that up when he knows that when that comes, you might go for that takedown?
For sure. Well, I mean, the first thing I'm going to do is if I know he has a big right hand, I'm going to move to my right, just like this. I'm going to start, you know, walking. I can circle. I can fake different directions, but I'm going to be circling away from it, right? So, I mean, anytime you're circling this way right into the hand, it's obviously coming into you. You're moving into it. So I'm just going to be working on moving to my right. I think right away, if I block, I'm going to look calf kick, and then that's going to set up my shot. For me, I'm always shooting head to the front side of their body. If I'm going to shoot this way, you know, there's too much danger over there. Uppercuts, knees, you know, even if he throws a kick and unintentionally hits me, it's dangerous. So if he's throwing this right hand, I'm going to keep my head on this side of the body. But mainly just, you know, moving my feet, circling right, controlling that distance, looking to land some longer range stuff, and then that's going to make him really chase me and I'm be able to set up the shot.
And for Vallejos, I mean, he's stepping up to the next level now.
Yeah.
You know, he just had a big win over Giga Chikadze, and he's a really tough guy on the feet. So for Josh Emmett, he's got to back him up, right? Be aggressive. Put this guy, Vallejos, the young kid, the upstart, the guy that's just brimming with confidence, put him on his back foot, take it to him, swing, connect with him, let him fucking know, hey, you've stepped up a level, now you're in with the big boys, and hey, you feel that power? You feel that power? You know there's real consequences. Right. And when you back him up and as you're swinging and all this, and then you get into this fence, you cut off the cage, just unload on him. Because that's what he's looking for. He's looking for the knockout.
Give someone, like, bring the power, because that's what you fought. You always brought the power. You always let them know they were in the cage with you. For a guy like Josh Emmett, though, being the first one to kind of get off before he does is probably going to be the game plan for him to get the win. Yeah, I agree with that.
Vallejos is fast. He's extremely technical. He's well-rounded. He's young. I think the only loss on his record is to Jean Silva on the Contender, and he took him 15 minutes, and he really made Jean Silva work. And that's when Jean Silva, you know, before he'd lost a couple as well. So it's a tricky fight for both men.
UFC 326 in the lightweight division, we have Holloway and Charles Oliveira.
Yeah.
Amazing legends of the sport. What happens in this fight? Who wins? How do they win?
Well, you know that Charles Oliveira is going to walk forward because that's what he does. He's not afraid of any man. He's going to walk forward. He's going to throw whatever he throws. He's got knees in the clinch. He's going to be throwing a lot of elbows and knees and all the rest of it. I don't think Max Holloway needs to be going for takedowns because, as we know, Oliveira on the ground, most submissions, most bonuses. The man's incredibly creative and he just takes these opportunities to get the finish just like that. For Max Holloway, it's business as usual. Just use all this space in here, pick him apart. He's got the best boxing. Stick him in, boom, boom, here, bam, 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 bam. You know, like he did against Gages, who was coming in, spinning back kicks, lots of long-range weapons, keep him at bay, boom, boom. Just keep the distance, piece them apart. It's going to be a 5-round fight. And then when Oliveira starts to get the damage, starts to slow down, starts to, you know, second guess himself, then start putting more combinations together.
Sure, 100%.
Yeah, I like something that Holloway does a lot that I really like is he attacks his opponent's base really well. So, you know, whenever he's coming into a fight, like you go watch his fight with Topuria, you look at the third round where he got knocked out. Before that was happening, he was throwing a lot of front leg side kicks to the knees, which I liked a lot. You see Oliveira, he's very upright, he's gonna march at you. And I think that for Holloway, being able to attack the base with the side kick, attack the base with the calf kick, it's gonna slow his opponent down, give him time to make good decisions later in the fight. So I think initially attacking the base. I think for Oliveira, it's not letting Holloway do the dance where, you know, he hits your base, he backs up, he's moving, and don't get in the game of chase this guy. You know, I think it's the game of being patient, being calculated, cutting the cage off, getting Holloway potentially on the fence, looking for combination into a takedown, into a shot. And I think if he can get the fight, you know, in this range versus in this, you know, 50-50 range, this 50-50 range is Max Holloway all day.
Yeah.
This range, that's Oliveira.
That's Oliveira.
Yeah.
In the clinch, in the pocket, also against the fence. Yeah. Against the fence for Charles Oliveira, that's going to favour him.
He's got to cut Holloway off.
He's going to get the body lock, he's going to get the trip, he's going to drop, pull guard, he's going to go for leg
cutting the cage
locks.
off is going to be important for him because he'll just be able to own
Maintaining separation and using the hands and the reach for Max Holloway, that's going to be the key to victory.
In your division, we have RDR versus Kyle, big fight coming up.
Yeah.
What do you think happens in that fight, Bisping?
Well, I don't want to make a prediction, but for RDR, he's got to get his hands on it. You know, Kyle Bahio just lost to Nazardini Marvov, right? Came up short, whatever, it happens to all of us. But he's very good, he's very talented, he's got very good hands. RDR just lost to you, right? That was his last fight?
No, he beat me, but he lost to Brennan Allen.
Boom, to the midsection. Come on.
I learned from that. It's all good.
I'm setting him up.
Yeah. What do you think about RDR after you fought him? What do you think he's going to need to do to beat a guy like Kyle?
So something that Kaiho does really well is he's kind of a bouncy guy. He's moving his feet a lot. He's like got a little bit of a karate style. So he comes in with punches. I think for RDR, it's just saying he's going to put pressure on him. He's going to move into Kyle. He's going to come forward. He does it in every single one of his fights. But it's really going to be about, this is a southpaw versus southpaw matchup. So he's going to have to catch this jab right here with Kyle's coming in. And then I think once you catch the jab, looking to clinch. Right, your under overs. This is where RDR wants to be. So really, you know, I think Kyle is probably going to look to be calf kicking RDR, moving, bouncing, and then catching him with something big as he's coming in. For RDR, it's staying disciplined, staying patient, keeping, you know, that jab defense on point. I think if he can defend the jab, then the fight will probably go to RDR. But again, it's going to be on Kyle to be able to, you know, feint a lot, move, be patient, look for your shots, and then, you know, stay off the fence, stay out of the clinch.
What about the height difference? Like Kyle looks big, RDR looks taller.
RDR's big. RDR's a big guy, and I think that that's something that he uses to his advantage really well. Like there's guys that are big, but then they fight down here like this. RDR's up here. He has a big
tall.
He fights tall. He has a big presence. He's long, and he puts that pressure on him. So I think that for him, it's you know, again, defending that jab. If he can catch the jab and then look to clinch after the jab, or catch the jab and even get Kyle back onto the fence, he's going to be able to get to, you know, his underhooks or potentially get to a single leg if Kyle's on the fence. Kyle moves a lot though, so, you know, again, he's got to be wary of being caught when he's coming in.
You've been in there with RDR.
Right.
I haven't, but it seems to me that he's very strong, very awkward, and the kind of takedowns and stuff, and I know you guys didn't really get into that too much, but from what you've seen when you studied him, it's not traditional wrestling, but he gets a body lock and he just has a way and a will. That's the most important thing, a will combined with the jiu-jitsu of getting you down to the ground. And once he gets them down, he is a nightmare on top.
The thing that RDR does really well that I learned in the fight and that I've also been utilizing a lot in my training is he utilizes an overhook, right? Everybody in MMA
right.
and in wrestling even wants to get to the underhook because that's a better control position. But being 6'4", being a big guy for middleweight, he gets to this overhook position and he does two things really well. One, his head position, he's gonna put it right in his opponent's ear, right? This stops my opponent from being able to have any power and any ability to do damage on me. And the other thing he does is he looks to catch this 2-on-1 right here, okay? So if I stay on this underhook, right, and my opponent has this 2-on-1, there's no opportunity for him to do any damage to me. He can't punch. Obviously, if he tries to throw a knee or anything like that, I can block. And now I have all the opportunity to do damage. Whenever I'm ready to go, I let go, boom, sneak the knee in. I can throw elbows, but right here, this is where he likes to be, and he's gonna start circling, and then he's gonna sneak these knees in when he wants to, and then right back to this 2-on-1. So that's the position that, for his game, is very effective. I think that Kaio is a smart guy. He's probably not gonna be looking to underhook.
Avoid the clinch
Yeah.
at all costs.
So this is the recap. This is Inside the Cage. Michael Bisping, our guest Bo Nickal, Jared DeGidio. We're here at Jaxxon Media House. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see all the behind the scenes, go check out the Jaxxon Podcast Discord. We'll show you guys a bunch of clips, a bunch of scenes, plus all of our giveaways. We also got a lot going on TikTok, and all of our brand new watches and our chains just dropped on Jaxxon.com. Thanks for watching. We're out.